Hello, everyone. This is Ria Pahuja from ETCIO, and I welcome you all to the session Unlock Social Commerce Innovations on the Cloud. Social commerce and lifestyle platforms are the perfect destinations for communities to engage, interact, and share social and lifestyle experiences with distinguished audiences. The most essential enabler to the scale of engagement at the back is technology and analytics powered on the cloud. In order to optimize cost, drive scalability, and empower analytics, social commerce platforms must be prudent of the solutions and the partners they select. Here we bring you the story of Trell. Trell, a lifestyle social commerce platform that maximized its data science, analytics, and cloud capabilities by partnering with Searce and Google Cloud. The usage of solutions like Google Map APIs, BigQuery, Google Kubernetes Engine, and so on resulted in maximized consumer engagement and a powerful insight driven business. Today, we bring you experts from Trell, Google Cloud, and Searce to help you discover the full capabilities of such cloud innovations and how they can be applied to your own business. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Nishant Singh, Associate Business Head for Digital Native Searce, Mr. Naren Kachu, Sales Lead from Digital Natives Google Cloud, and Mr. Arun Lodhi, CTO at Trell. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Before we go on to the discussion, let me just inform my attendees, dear attendees, that you can drop in your queries and questions through the box provided. We will be addressing them in the end. You can submit the questions from the screen you're viewing this session on. Click on where it says ask your questions to the experts panel, and we will be taking that in the end in our Q&A round. Without any further ado, over to you, Nishant. Please take this forward.
Great. Thanks, Ria. Thanks, Arun, for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
Great. So, Arun, without further delay, I'll also jump to the first question. For the audience here, can you please help us, a bit about Trell? How did a 5-year-old company become the best choice of platform for social commerce among Gen Z of this country? A bit more about this, half a decade journey. So, yeah.
Definitely, sure. So at Trell, our aim always has been to empower people to make better lifestyle choices. And on that note, when we started first in 2017, we were just into food and travel. At that time, foodies and traveling was the cool thing that people like to do, that Gen Z connected to. Uh, they used to go to food meetups, eat food for free, or just go on road trips. That was the cool thing to do at that time. And then later, after the launch of Geo Revolution, internet came to a lot of tier two, tier three cities, and their consumption patterns changed. We saw more and more lifestyle content being consumed by people all over the country. And at that time, we enabled lifestyle categories on the platform. And ever since then, the Gen Z has always been keen to connect to platforms which give them content on beauty, personal care, fashion. This is the kind of content that resonates with Gen Z audiences, because Gen Z is always on the lookout for trends. What kind of content is trending? What kind of fashion trends are there? Am I missing out of something? So there's a constant fear of missing out, of FOMO, as we call it in the Gen Z audiences. And Trell provided them with a platform there where they could consume such content. Even they could create content and become micro influencers themselves. And our ability to help anyone to become a creator with no language bar has brought close to over 50 million creators on Trell, who create contents around topics like beauty, fashion, personal care, lifestyle, movies and TV reviews, technology and gadgets, and so on. And these regional influencers, while they create content, it is also influential for the users who connect with these influencers, and then they are able to make better lifestyle choices for themselves. So these influencers also indirectly are helping a large user base in elevating their lifestyles. So it is natural that Gen Z, a platform like Trell, would be the first choice for Gen Z.
Right, Arun, and I can so much relate to this. I'm based out of a tier two, tier three town right now, and I have seen people consuming content and creating content like crazy. Whenever there's an empty road with a great background, people are there creating some content, and so I have a small follow-up question. Something on a lighter note. What were you or the team was doing on 29th June last year, 2020? And what all
Okay.
changed within a month's time
Yeah.
and how?
Yeah, so 29 June 2020, it is the most memorable night of my entire life, entire journey in a startup. So I still remember that day as a part of my routine before going to bed, I usually check the metrics. So I opened these graphs and I was able to see a huge spike in terms of creation numbers, consumption numbers. The spike was like 20x of the previous values. So I thought, okay, something might be wrong with the analytics system. I went to the analytics system. I ran the query there. Again, I was able to see the spike. And then I thought, okay, something might be wrong with the data ingest pipeline. So I went to the production database, ran account star over there, and I saw, oh my God, this is real traffic. Traffic has really started coming in. We need to do something to handle this traffic. And I posted this on the group, and immediately there were like five different war rooms opened. So a war room is generally a Gmeets link where we usually don't go in normal circumstances. Only if the database loads are high or response times are high, we open it. So at that time, there was a tech war room going on. At the same time, around three to four different product war rooms were still on discussing on what kind of things we could do to engage this audience that has come up all in a single night. Do we need to make any changes on the content strategy? Do we need to uh, make some changes to the product and so on? And so product came up with a very basic list of changes that we were able to roll out by the next day. But the tech war room, there things were like going haywire. Our response times had increased from close to 100 millisecond to over 500 milliseconds, and we were able to see a lot of spikes. And when that war room started, it did not close for the next 72 hours. Within those 3 days, people were constantly coming in, going out of the war room. They were like, okay, I'll take a nap and be back in about 4 hours. And within those three days, we launched most of the things that we had planned to launch in the next 4 months, be it around caching, be it around API migration from PHP to Golang. And a lot of these things happened within those 3 nights. So it was the most memorable night in short for us.
I can totally imagine. It had been and it was a problem that you solved, or it was an opportunity that the Trell team grabbed. That's so good to hear.
Yeah,
Naren.
Yeah, hi Arun. So first of all, it is a great honor and privilege to share this stage with the two of you, both Nishant, you and Arun. And it is also unfortunate on my part to raise the average age of this group by several years. I am in the midst of two Gen Zs. I don't want to tell you what Gen I am, but it is further up in the alphabet. I can't. I don't want to tell you what letter it is, but it's definitely not Z. So with that, Arun, and I've tried to do my part, look cool, wear a t-shirt and stuff, but it still shows, right? So, but what a story, Arun! What a fantastic story you just told us on how one night, one metric changed the world for you. So, Arun, I wanted to hear from you, and I think our audiences would also want to hear from you on what was the core pivotal idea behind shifting from a video sharing platform to a social commerce platform. So, what was that pivotal thought? Why? What was the trigger point for
sure,
that journey?
sure, Naren. As a lifestyle platform, since our vision has always been to enable people to make better lifestyle choices, but then this decision making is incomplete without the users actually taking an action on the platform. So what used to happen before the launch of social commerce was that people would come on the platform, consume content, maybe make some decisions, and take actions outside of the platform, but we did not have any data about that. We were not able to personalize user experiences around that. So hence social commerce was naturally the next step for us, wherein we completed the whole loop. Now people can come onto the platform, consume content around lifestyle, and not just take decisions, but also act on it in the form of purchases in the commerce section. So we see social commerce as the future of commerce, as more and more companies are trying to align themselves towards commerce, be whether it be content companies or whether it be commerce companies. Both are trying to get a foot in social commerce and get audiences onto their platform. We see it is going to be one of the game changers in the coming years.
Good to hear, Arun. Nishant, over to you.
Yeah. And when we talked about the war room scenes, and we have
Sure.
seen lots. We have must have seen a lot of war rooms recent by. We have
Yeah.
seen downtime, security breach for many of the social apps in the
Yeah.
past few months. And Trell user base was growing continuously. And you were able to manage it quite smoothly. So if you can help me understand, what was happening apart from the war room side.
Sure.
What's
Sure.
happening on the tech side behind the scene. What kind of technology is actually required for a platform like yours?
Sure, Nishant. So, first of all, making any changes to as big an infrastructure like us is like changing the engine of a sports car while it is actually running. And you don't have to have time to stop. You have to keep the car running and still be able to swap out its components with newer components in order to give it a performance boost. Uh, so the whole scene behind the tech, behind under the hood was just like that. So we were migrating our APIs from PHP to Golang, and also doing platform migrations wherein we were migrating from a monolith to microservice kind of architecture. And few important decision factors were like we had to choose technologies that were scalable and were performant without causing a burn in the pocket. Hence, we shortlisted technologies that are very stable and have proven their mettle over time. While with these facts, it was also important that these technologies have a good developer community and they provide us with pre-packaged modules and allow us to release faster while also improving the reliability of the platform. So this was the whole decision making involved behind the scenes, and a lot of components were being swapped out. We changed our core programming language, our core database. While it remained the same, we came up with multiple secondary databases for each of the microservices. And our analytics system also moved from open source technologies to Google BigQuery. So these were some of the kind of the major changes that were happening.
I'm glad you were able to make these changes smoothly and quickly. Yeah.
Yes, thankfully.
So, Arun, I have a follow-up question on that.
Sure.
A lot of our young um, listeners and enthusiasts would want to know what it would take to work for Trell someday. So, do you mind sharing with us what's your tech stack look like and how have you evolved over the years with your engineering teams, and any thoughts to our young listeners who may have be in very early days or may not have started their careers yet on what they should skill themselves with to find a seat in the engineering team at Trell someday?
Sure, Navin. That's a very nice question. So initially, we started with the PHP MySQL monolith. As with any other company, I have no shame in saying that. So PHP is not generally seen as a very good language, but the point in choosing PHP was that it allowed the developers at that time to move at a very fast scale, that at a very fast pace that would not have been possible with any other language at that time back in 2016 and 2017. And while we were scaling on PHP MySQL, we hit some roadblocks, and then we went through a small migration in 2018 where we migrated around 30% of the APIs to Node.js. But the thing with Node.js was it was very easy to write bad code and not know about it. So again, we started seeing multiple roadblocks around there, and then finally we decided to move on to Golang. We did a small POC on one of the very high traffic services, and we saw no bottlenecks over there. And since then, Golang has been our preferred language, and there's no turning back from it. And in terms of databases, while we only had MySQL in the beginning, even databases have evolved in terms of feed. We migrated from MySQL to Cassandra, and then finally using a combination of MySQL and MongoDB. Similarly, for each of the specific services, we have very specific stacks. Uh, so yeah, that's a bit about the journey, how we started, and where we are currently. And I see that Google itself as a company has contributed a lot to the developer ecosystem. Golang was internally designed at Google, and Kubernetes, that is one of the core parts of our infrastructure, it was also developed by Google. Uh, so I see Google contributing to this developer ecosystem a lot. And for the newbies, I would say choose any statically typed language, get a good grip on it, and other languages like PHP and JavaScript you can learn on the go, but be strong in at least one of the statically typed languages.
No, good to hear that, Arun. It was not a leading question. I didn't want to lead you to the Golang
Uh-huh. Okay.
answer, but good to know. Good to hear that. And as you have no shame in confessing that you started with PHP, I have no shame in confessing that I started my career on COBOL. So I
Okay.
guess that that squares us both off there. So Nishant, any follow-up questions from you?
Yeah, so I don't PHP to Golang. Most of us think through various points while deciding on anything.
Yeah.
Whether buying a new taking a new credit card, buying a new car or something. You
Yeah.
must have thought through a lot of aspects, right, while
Hmm.
choosing GCP
Definitely.
for your stack.
Yeah.
What was that trigger point, or what was that starting point on Google Cloud, and why GCP over other public clouds?
Sure, sure. So this is around 3 years back while we were still struggling with our analytics infrastructure. We had tried multiple open source technologies, and the rate at which we were growing, we realized that we had to invest considerable amount of resources and time on an ongoing basis in just setting up those clusters for analysis and maintaining and fine tuning them as the analytics needs were growing very, very rapidly. And at that time, I happened to stumble upon BigQuery, and it came in as a much needed savior in those times, wherein it abstracted away all the underlying details of the infrastructure. You don't have to worry about CPU or RAM or anything else. You can just bring in your data into the system and start querying it instantly. And that is exactly what the team needed, because especially in a startup ecosystem like us, it is very necessary to make quick decisions. And to be able to do that, you need to have data insights within seconds instead of minutes or hours. And BigQuery was our go-to tool for that, and we have chosen it as a future-proof database.
And this is probably not just your story, but many other companies I have recently had a chat with. Their starting point was also BigQuery, when they said I want
Yeah,
to take my decisions faster. I
yeah,
want to be super quick in analyzing my data. So
exactly.
so great choice, Arun. Nothing.
So Arun, building up on what you spoke about BigQuery and analytics,
Hmm.
and how that was the trigger point for you. Can you shed some light on what you believe is the role that Google Cloud is today playing in digital platforms, exclusively digital platforms like Trell, and what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about where this trend is headed, and what's the role that you would like to see Google to play? And I'll be happy to take your feedback
Sure,
about that. Um, you know,
sure, Naren.
that would be really valuable for us at Google Cloud.
Sure. Thanks, Naren. So I see Google Cloud playing a very crucial role in terms of digital platforms like ours, because Trell is a content-based platform. And with content, there comes many challenges. You have to do NSFW detection, you have to tag the videos, you have to come up with recommendation algorithm, and there's always the need for constant analytics. And Google Cloud as a platform itself, earlier cloud platforms basically just provided us with the infrastructure. But now, with the rise of newer technologies coming up, newer solutions being offered, I see the role of Google Cloud as being able to offer a one-stop solution for all your needs. So in terms of tagging views, Cloud Vision, translation APIs, in terms of recommendation, people can directly start using the AutoML and the recommendation APIs by Google. And uh, the uh, the learning curve has basically decreased in terms of cloud adaptation. So, looking from that perspective, I would say the role of Google Cloud is very pivotal in ensuring any startup's growth or any digital platform's growth. And it's not just about ready-made technologies; it's also about security and governance. Governance. There are ready-made solutions that are able to scan your data, ensure that the data is safe, and GCP itself complies with the security standards. So even a lot of banks would also be onboarding GCPI. Yes, a lot of the banks are already your customers. And so, yeah, in a jet, like it is a very crucial role played by GCP. And going forward, we would like to see more and more ready-made services that could directly cater to our needs.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear a little bit more from you, Arun. I mean, all the good parts. So first of all, thank you for being
Sure,
such a strong advocate for Google Cloud and
sure,
being such a deep user of our services. We really appreciate it. We are really honored to have a company like Trell and you at the forefront doing all that work on Google Cloud. But I wanted to ask you, what more? What are you looking uh, for from Google Cloud in the times to come? I know we have spoken on a few areas, but anything that you would like to call out is something that we should prioritize, something that you are keenly looking at engaging with us on.
sure. So, thanks, Naren. So, in Trell, our one of the main areas of focus going forward is AI ML algorithms around personalization. So we would maybe like to see an end-to-end pipeline where the video gets ingested, it gets tagged, and then the same infrastructure is also able to recommend these videos to people depending on the user persona. Uh, Other than this, we are already using BigQuery and very happy with its performance. I also know for a fact that Google is making significant improvements in terms of its CDN offering. So that would be again one of the core areas that we would like to try out. And since YouTube is also hosted on GCP, the kind of algorithms YouTube uses to transform the content to ensure video quality. Maybe some of that could be opened up to other customers in order to basically help them with their needs.
Feedback taken, Arun, and I think uh, we'll do the announcement at the appropriate time on
Sure,
some CDN announcement.
sure, Naren.
Looking forward to working with you on some of those.
Definitely.
I don't you have been looking some great technologies, expanding to tier two, tier three cities, and these numbers aren't stopping for you. You're already serving a huge database, which is increasing day by day. How does a public cloud like Google Cloud has been helpful in this journey? How does it, Google Cloud is enabling the growth at Trell?
Sure, sure. Uh, Nishan, GCP has provided us with a very reliable and scalable platform. First things first, BigQuery was an absolute revolution at that time, wherein we could just forget about the infrastructure, ingest our data, query it, get insights in seconds. That was when absolutely revolutionary. Second, the thing with Firebase is that Firebase also provides a lot of ready-made solutions which are ready to ship, be it about mobile or OTP authentication, be it around notifications, and anything related to mobile app development needs. So solutions like these have helped us boost our developer productivity and decrease our time to go to market. And the fact that our platform runs on the same infrastructure that supports giants like Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube, it is the same reason that our DevOps team is able to sleep peacefully. And as I said, Google itself has contributed a lot to the developer ecosystem by open sourcing a lot of the technologies developed in-house. And as I said, one of the main factors of our growth has been our ability to make real-time decisions and real-time analytics. And BigQuery was an absolute achiever on those fronts.
And we want your developer to sleep peacefully. And at Google Cloud, the philosophy, we don't want user to spend too much time, doing manual tasks. Like focus
Yeah.
on your own work, focus on your business, and that's
Exactly.
what we aim for. Great. Correct.
So good, Arun. Since Nishant led the question on GCP, I think I should then lead the question on why Searce, right? How
Sure.
did you run into Searce? How has that experience been? And how has Searce been a partner for you in this journey?
Sure.
Happy to hear
So
your
Search
stories
came
on that.
as a billing partner for us, but then they were not just billing partners. They came in as a much needed helping hand when it comes to GCP adaptation. So the Search team brings a lot of experience to the table, and we have been collaborating for the Search team for a very long time. And they've helped us across the stack, be it related to infrastructure planning, architectural decisions, optimizing our cloud spends, capacity planning, or even developer training. The Search team have been absolutely handy with the right folks whenever we needed them with every answer to any questions we had. And Search people, I would say, are true gems, and I would recommend more and more companies to partner up with them.
Very encouraging to hear, Arun. Arun, my last question for you, and I don't know if you're aware, we are in the last month of Google's financial year, right? So
Yeah.
we'll be finishing our financial year in December, and then we start a new year in January. And as is the case with all sales people and teams, even though we may not appear very salesy, we do have targets and quotas. So your next question is going to drive somebody's quota for next year. So just be mindful of that. Uh, how do you see Trell evolving, and what does growth for you look like? And your account managers, both from Sears and GCP, will be eagerly listening to this answer live, because that is going to determine what will happen to them. But no, jokes apart, we're really seeing you grow phenomenally. So what's your vision of growth look like? How are you going to target the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities? What sort of impact are you going to drive? You can just give us your thoughts on what does future for Trail look like.
Sure,
And
Naveen.
kind of
So first, I'll be talking a bit about the ecosystem and how we think the ecosystem will be evolving. So, given like the previous years, the pandemic has given a massive push to India's creator economy, and I think the industry will definitely thrive in the coming years with newer engagement and newer shopping models being adopted throughout the ecosystem. And these Gen Z and millennial shoppers that we talked about. These people are harder to reach via traditional media channels and prefer social media networks to make purchase decisions. And brands are even wanting to directly integrate with these people via social commerce. And with the rise of Web 3.0, I think we will see multiple innovative technologies coming up, which will provide a unified experience where Web 3.0 and social commerce will unify into a single experience for the shoppers as well as for the creators. And the rise of social commerce in India is also going to give a boost to digital first brands while opening up newer opportunities for influencers to monetize from brand collaborations. And a lot of them will also be able to pursue this as a full time profession. So in terms of Trell, we plan to again expand our reach to over 2,000 cities in India by enabling 6 to 8 more languages on the platform. And in the next 12 to 18 months, we plan to cross close to 500 million monthly active users, while also doing close to around $500 million worth of analyzed GMV. And we also plan that by the end of 2022, we have to empower over 50 million creators to become micro entrepreneurs, wherein they are influencing the lives of users in some recognizable way. And as a platform, we have been growing close to 15 to 20% month on month, and we plan to continue this growth exponentially. In terms of cloud spends, definitely the spends are going to be huge, like in the range of 10 to 20x our current numbers.
Super, super enthused to hear that answer. I don't know if everybody in my team will share that view and my enthusiasm, or also in Nishant's team, but super excited on what the future holds, Arun, and I hope soon, uh, very soon, we'll have another unicorn in our midst with Trell and the digital powerhouse and the leader in this space already. And it's just so encouraging to hear uh, your your past, which is also important because that's what's going to charter your journey towards what's going to come in the future. So excited and super thrilled about this. Arun, good to hear this from you. Over to you, Nishant.
Definitely, Noreen, even the whole Trell team is very thrilled about the future, about what kind of technology will be coming up in the next year and how we will adopt new kind of experiences, especially in terms of live commerce. I think live commerce is going to be one of the main technologies going forward, wherein influencers talking about the product, giving live feedback, and people are able to instantly make that decision right over there, just because they have established that level of connect with the creator, they trust the creator, they trust the platform. So there's going to be a lot more competition in the coming years, and it's going to be definitely interesting.
Great, great. Arun, so good to hear that. And talking about that growth, we at Searce have also been growing quite decently. The number of projects that we are doing is also so exciting for us, and we are learning day by day. I have a quick 5 minutes presentation, where I'll just cover a brief about Searce, what we do, how we do, and yeah, just put on
Sure.
the screen. So, Arun, first of all, I'd like to thank you and Rain again for taking your time out. Uh, uh, we believe in future-ready technologies, and if you look at your mission, you mentioned to empower every Indian to make better lifestyle choices. While Google mission is also to organize world information and make it universally useful. Sears, we are continuously improving ourselves to help companies achieve their mission by a simple philosophy of solving for better. Uh, you know some of the numbers that we are proud of. We have been working with 3,000 plus clients spread across different industries like lifestyle, fintech, media, logistics, and many more. uh, we have a team of 900 plus members who are solving for better day by day, and we are still hiring. uh, and thanks to you and Naren for trusting us in this journey and making us one of the best partners across the globe. There's some of the GCP where GCP for media and lifestyle, which are serviced by Sears. Uh, and the list is huge, from the traditional companies in the manufacturing space to the e-commerce companies which have, came up a decade ago, to the companies which were actually born in the pandemic. we aim to help more and more companies making the right choice of public cloud. Uh, we provide end-to-end solutions for Google offerings, starting from how we work within the organization, how we collaborate with, using Workspace to help a company like yours decide faster using a Google Data Lake and Looker, for managing end-to-end cloud operations. We do it all, we also work with a lot of companies in terms of their location strategy, from tracking delivery agents to where should I open my next store, we help our partners decide and, with the best of the solutions. Uh, Again, a few numbers, the types of projects we have done, uh, the, around the data analytics, the cloud infrastructure, location intelligence. And we are trying to improve day by day by learning from, company like yours and Google. Uh, there are various engagement models that we engage with, and different team members from Searce. So cloud consultants, technical account manager, business analyst, finance operations team engage the company at different stages to make this partnership successful. Uh, Here is how you can read about our work on our Medium page. I think it's just a call away, to help you drive intelligent outcomes. So yeah, those were my slides. Thank you so much for listening. Back to you, Ria.
One final comment. Thanks, Nishan. One final comment, Arun. I did finally get to install Trell yesterday. I had stayed away from it for a while.
Okay.
I ended up spending 2 hours on it, so that's 2 less hours of sleep for me last night. But that your platform is truly immersive. It just sucks you in, and beautiful user experience. I just want to compliment you and your team for building something truly world class and fantastic.
Thank you, Naren. I'll pass on the compliments to the team. And thank you for increasing our average user time for yesterday.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for the insightful session that we had here. We're now jumping on to the Q&A round. Dear audience, please do keep dropping your questions through the link. We will be addressing them now. So the very first question here, Arun, is for you. And the question says, what are the technology transformation that Trell hasn't explored yet, but looks to make use of them in the future for, say, coming in 2022 or for the further years?
Sure. So we plan to invest a lot in terms of R&D on personalization, and it is still a new field. It is still a developing field, and it would be one of the core areas of our focus, and not just in terms of recommendation engines, but also in terms of automated video tagging translations, wherein we are getting the voice translated from, let's say, Malayalam into English and then further tagging the videos. AI ML technologies we still are yet to invest a lot on. And going ahead, I'm also seeing a rise in terms of Web 3.0 technologies. So we might also invest into that in terms of decentralized web, coming up with a decentralized ecosystem for creators, maybe an NFT space for creator videos, something on those lines. So these will be the two main areas of focus going forward.
Sure, thank you. Naren, here's a question for you. And the question says, how is Google helping its customer pivot and evolve their business during the pandemic times?
Yeah, the pandemic, Ria, honestly was a very unprecedented time for all of us,
Exactly.
and I think the the unique position that Google was in. I mean, we are a digital first company, and we are truly born in the cloud. So I think a lot of the solutions that were there within the Google arsenal, within Google Cloud arsenal at that time, came in super handy for a lot of our customers, whether it was deploying workspaces, deploying solutions that we are on right now, like Google Meet, right, for example. The ability for users to, employees to communicate, be in touch, be in video voice, high quality video voice connectivity from wherever they wanted to work. And I think that was an immediate blessing for a lot of companies that went through the pandemic time. Um, it was a time when we also learned a lot of things. We understood that the cyclic natures of user traffic. A lot of our customers lost a lot of user traffic, and I believe the cloud itself provided that ability for customers to scale down their operations and not have to take that hit. So I think more and more customers are now realizing the power of OPEX over CAPEX. So I think a lot of those we also learned along the way, and I think we are better positioned today, Ria, honestly, than what we were a couple of years back.
For sure, for sure. Great. Thank you so much, Nishant. The next question is directed towards you. What is the value of working with a partner like Searce in the Google ecosystem?
No, while Arun tried to cover a few of the points, I'll add something more to it. Since we have been working with a lot of companies, a lot of digital natives, and solve a lot of problems that company faces. We have seen the ground realities, what has been working, what has not been working. So we have burnt our hands with the best of technology. We are the early adapters to best of the technology. And our engagement model is such that we handhold the clients right from day zero to the day of completion. It's not just about migration; it's about the cultural shift, or it's about the mental shift that the company or its employee or its developer goes through. Our deeper partnership with Google has also helped us a lot. In terms of if a client has a need in any of the like say across Google ecosystem, like say Maps, Google Workspace, Apigee. So we are the single point of contact for all the customer for all their technology needs. So that's what Searce comes handy for companies like Trell and many more.
Sure. Thank you. Taking the one last question here, Arun, I think the question is for you. We have talked about what are your points to explore in 2022. You talked about personalization and a few more points, but the question here is about Metaverse. With Facebook rebranding itself as Metaverse, what are the possibilities of Trell to venture into the Metaverse, a world with its entertainment and social commerce platform?
Sure, I think Metaverse is the highlight of 2021, and with social commerce coming into picture, I guess we could have a completely virtual experience wherein creators are creating very innovative kind of content. People are interacting with it in many different kind of ways. I think only time can give the best answer as to how this platform will evolve. But as for Trell, definitely we would love to get a piece of it and see how social commerce and metaverse can unify and lead to better experience for our users.
Sure, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for sharing those insights with us and answering the questions here. Dear attendees, I'm equally grateful for you for joining us here. We've tried to answer all of the questions, but in case you have more questions, please do reach out to us through any of our online or digital communication channels. We will always be happy to help. Again, thank you. And until next time, please stay safe and stay connected.
Thank you, Ria. Thanks, Arun.
Thank you. Thanks, Arun.
Thank you, Ria. Thanks, Marian. Thanks, Nishant. Bye-bye.